What's up, you guys? It's your girl Sammy J, and today we're going to be reacting to being ugly versus attractive in school. This is actually done by Mr. Astro Dior. I know him in real life. He is funny, not only on camera, but in real life as well. So I'm interested to see what his take is on this. He's blowing up. He's doing his thing right now on YouTube. Let's get straight into this video.
Attraction. Whether you give a damn about how you look or not, it goes without saying your appearance is your first impression. From your fit to your face, people's first thought of you is either, I like how this person looks, they're inviting, or damn, this nigga ugly than a Now, if I'm being honest, all my life I've been told that I'm a handsome young man. When I would go into my mother's job at 14, her employees would consider statutory. I may have had a good foundation, but I was like you once. I had the little kid special, the low cut, the baldino jack, basically bald with a line up buck teeth. I always had that shit on though. My mom did not play about us looking crazy. But when I finally grew into my big old head, started filling in my shirts, they didn't look like a cloak on my body anymore, I realized the true power of what being attractive does. But I'm
not gonna lie, when I was in high school, just let you know, I did not look like this when I was in high school. I definitely consider I had a glow up from then, because maybe I did not look the best in high school. But I didn't think I looked bad either. I just felt like, you know, it was kind of somewhere in the middle. Nothing special, but could use some work. Now I feel like I've reached a point where every year I just feel like I'm kind of looking a little bit better.
Like everything else in this world, there are pros and cons. So allow me to present to you the truth of being ugly versus attractive in school. To begin where most of us start out at, being a chopped young nigga. A lot of us start here. This is where you build your character and you start realizing that you like more than video games and fruit snacks and shit. You're not really too worried about how you look because you're a kid. Around elementary school, this really don't matter. The only beauty standards were like speed and the type of snacks that your mom packed in your lunchbox and shit. And that's good because there's no reason why you need to even be indulging in any activity so young. It's not until like middle school when you start to realize, damn, you start waking up with your willy hard and shit. Wait. Just one sec. Just want to take this time to tell y'all, come pull up to the reaction channel. I have 2 Astro Dior Plus and more Astro Dior consistent. This girl that developed before the rest. In the day that my Johnson had gained consciousness, it was so difficult for me to not stare at this girl. I was like in 6th grade, she was in 8th. Catching myself daydreaming about her riding bikes. See her walk by at one of my games, airballing layups and shit. I say all that to say it's around this period where you're starting to actually find women attractive. Just as we are finding them attractive, they are finding us. So that inspires us to start working on your appearance. You remember how around this period you cared more about how you might have been dressing, the way your hair looked. It's because deep down you wanted to be attractive and desired. Like I said, I knew I wasn't unattractive because older women would always say to my mom if I was walking with her, he's so handsome, he's gonna do something.
That's weird. Commenting, like, I don't know, that is kind of weird when older women comment on a little boy's looks. It's like, all right, you know, he's handsome, but like to say, oh, he's gonna be a problem with, I don't know, it's kind of weird to me, a little odd.
With the ladies, but that just didn't reflect when I was in school at the time. That may have been true, but in school I was undesired. Nobody wanted me. Where I was living at the time was heavily Hispanic. Around this time, Justin Bieber had just popped off. He was going stupid. Thing about Hispanic people, they can put their hair to the side, do the Justin Bieber little cut that he had. Niggas can't do that. I mentioned earlier, the haircut that I was sporting was so low. During the winter, not wearing something on my head was asking for hypothermia. Anyway, I would go into school, girls would deadass be asking, why are you bald? Walking through there looking like Lil Bill every day. But my fits was clean though. And what comes right after being unwanted is also being rejected. Because when you finally gain a little bit of confidence to be like, you know, I'm actually gonna pull up on shorty, I'm gonna talk to her. And walk up, she hit you with that forbidden ill. That's enough to almost make a nigga turn homosexual.
Bro, I will never forget this story. I remember I was in middle school. It was like 8th grade, right? And I was attracted to this guy. No, I was in 7th grade, he was in 8th grade. I was attracted to him, right? I forgot his name. I don't know, we'll just call him Josh, right? And I remember asking one of my like girlfriends to go ask him like, oh, you know, is he interested in me? Does he find me attractive? Whatever. And she was like, oh, you know, do you find Sammy attractive? Blah, blah, blah. She comes back to me. She's like, yeah, he thinks you're cute. And I don't remember how it happened, but this was the worst shit. This was so embarrassing. I think I went up to him, right? And I was, you know, just trying to talk to him or whatever. And he got me confused with another Sammy, whatever. He thought I was a completely different Sammy. That's not the one that he was like, no, you're not the Sammy that I like. It's the other Sammy. And I was like, it was a walk of shame. It was terrible. I ain't gonna lie. It definitely was like to my confidence, my heart. But it is what it is, you know, trial tribulations. It wasn't meant to be. But humbling experience nonetheless.
Apologies, I'm lying. But no doubt that you carry that and it really hurts your soul. First time being rejected was weird because I actually got with the girl that I wanted to be with. When she randomly sent her homegirl to break up with me and I asked why, I found out it was because she thought I was a nice guy and I was cool. She liked this Mexican Justin Bieber haircut ass nigga.
And I just was not that.
Now, although those are the negatives, there are actual positives to coming up being an unattractive nigga. One, you don't fall into hypersexual shit so young. But the amount of young girls getting pregnant in middle school was actually egregious. How are you walking out pregnant at 12, 13? Starting their family life before they learned algebra. You still get to—
I went to private school, so I don't think there was one girl in private school that was pregnant. So I didn't experience that.
Come up and be a kid, you get to chill. When I finally did get a girl around this time, I'm so geeked and hyped, and like a lot of us, corn done tainted our brains young. I'm in middle school, 8th grade, trying to get head.
Little nigga, if you don't sit down.
Another thing is you get to gain certain skills in different places. Y'all know those women or dudes or people who are pretty attractive, but they don't have no personality. They like bland, it's like talking to a wall. If you was an ugly nigga, you ain't gotta go through that. You get to learn to be the class clown and be funny. You get to make up for it in certain places. You know what I'm saying? Lastly, you get to glow up. I feel like everybody has an opportunity to glow up. Your glow up might not be like somebody else's because you're probably already pretty low on that scale. You don't possess the properties to allow yourself to get to a certain point, but that's okay. You glue up still. If you had an issue of being real skinny like I did, you can get big. Teeth crooked, you get braces. A lot of people's come ups was during this period, but this is where I start to transcend and leave you chopped niggas. Some of you niggas didn't get to have the best of both worlds like me. I got to feel how it felt to not be the most attractive nigga, but then I got to feel the wrath and the power of a nigga that got hoes. Like I said, the predominantly Hispanic school that I was going to, I went there from middle school to my first year of high school. It wasn't until I moved to a more African American area and went to a new school that I realized the power that I had. Yes, I hit puberty. Yes, my jaw started to sharpen up a little bit. The day I really knew it changed, I had visited my old school, seeing a lot of the people that wasn't stunting me at the time. Left and had DMs, calls, trying to figure out what was going on. But before I get into all the positives of that, I would like to talk about the negatives of growing up attractive, because they are there. First, learning how to navigate women young. Learning about girls in middle school, 8th grade and shit, for the most part, pretty innocent, besides those people that was getting pregnant. It's very subtle. I had my first kiss in middle school, barely texting my mom over here checking my phone. Whenever you are talking about anything, it's some bullshit. Y'all have nothing to talk about. Once you cross over to that teenage world, you actually start to learn how demonic women can be, especially when they want you and they coming up to you. First, you might not really even notice. Like I said, at one point, I was not a desired young man, but when I finally turned up, I had women pushing up on me, asking for my number, what school I'm going to. For a moment, it was overwhelming. That's until I started getting to my bag, and I should not have been getting in my bag so young. It didn't take until my second year of high school till I started smashing. I need to be focused on schoolwork and basketball, but instead this girl going through my phone, kicking me out in the IHOP parking lot. Obviously, this can also be a pro, because when you're finally out of school, you're not like some of these niggas. Y'all know the ones that we be laughing at when we be like, oh, he didn't get no girls in school because they act out of character for him. They be acting out of body. It's clear that getting women is just new to them. Travis Hunter. But just like everything else, there's levels.
I ain't gonna lie, like in high school, bro, none of that shit matters. Women, men, whatever, getting that shit is so surface level. Y'all are not going through nothing. And that doesn't mean like, y'all have relations, dog. Do what you want in high school. But that shit is most likely not going to last and go nowhere. Enjoy it. Do not let it fuck up what you got going on. If you're in sports, bro, do not let that become the forefront. Your relationship, that won't matter. I'm not saying not to care about the person, like you should, but just don't let it become the forefront of what, you know, your brain. Like, still focus on you, build yourself up, whatever that may be on your sport. Like, I play basketball, so, you know, I was going to practice. I even worked in high school, so that was what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? To it. You feel gassed up. You feel on top of the world. What basically leads you to having so much confidence that you just start doing things. You feeling like him. You talking to multiple girls. Shooting at women twice your age. The next thing is being seen as soft. When you're an attractive person, you automatically be seen as somebody that don't get their hands dirty, a pretty nigga, and don't fuck around to be light skinned like me. Now they talking about light skinned, pretty nigga. Oh, he da da da. In school, that used to upset me so bad to the point where it made me flash. It made me one of those niggas that would flash easily. I didn't like doing the lunch table roast because if somebody said something, I'm getting too mad. I became very sensitive, trying to prove that I'm a man like the rest of y'all. Think about it like this. You see somebody that's more attractive on the street, you feel welcome. You don't feel threatened. You feel like you can come up and talk to this person. Think about that one grimy chop person you saw, had his hoodie on. Your guard automatically go up. And in its essence, that's just what's going on subconsciously. At the end of the day, as long as you stand your ground, you good. Know that you're not to be played with. But that stigma is there though. Something else from the male perspective is that automatically niggas think you trying to shoot at women all the time.
time, or that you got women lined up. Forget just from a male perspective, from a female one too. The amount of times that I've been speaking to a woman and she said,
You probably got to all these hoes, da da
I
da.
ain't gonna lie, some free game. The best thing is just be like, I mean, yeah, you know what it is. Like, it ain't really nothing. Some free game. Real
No,
quick. Or a nigga
don't be doing that shit. What the fuck you telling them, Dior? Do not do that.
could be like, bro, call one of your hoes. Bro, I'm not even living like that. In a group with my friends, they trying to send me off to talk to this person. I'm chilling. Now, the positives of growing up attractive, you walk around confidently. Almost everywhere you go, somebody look at you, you can catch a gaze, see that you one of them. That does feel good. 2, you definitely get treated a little bit better. You're just accepted a lot more. More people are willing to talk to you. And it's almost a little bit of a con too if you're somebody that's more introverted like me. For instance, I could be walking in the mall and for some reason, somebody I do not know feel like they can strike a conversation up with me. A lot of the time, I'm not trying to talk, I'm trying to be alone. But when you need it, people will treat you better, whether they like what they see.
That is a fact. That is 100% true. I like to go and eat out a lot, right? And I'm usually by myself when I go. I'm not even trying to toot my own horn, but it is actually kind of insane how many free meals I get from I guess the way that I look. They're just like, you're good, just leave. Literally. And multiple times. Like if I go to the same restaurant, they're like, you're good, you don't have to pay. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, I really don't mind paying, but they insist. And I'm just like, all right, well, damn, might as well take the free food then. You do get a different treatment when you look more attractive. So
just nice to see a good looking person. Next, I'm not gonna lie,
The hoes, I ain't gonna lie, that's hard.
if you are living crazy, which I do not suggest, none of y'all do, it's just too many risks, too many STDs. The selection of women you get to choose from is broad. Being able to get certain women that other people cannot get, ultimately it just feels good. And what leads to my next thing, you don't really have to try too hard. A simple hey that you can say in a DM goes a long way. You don't gotta craft no crazy message. It can be very, very simple. I know y'all seen those videos where somebody don't even say nothing, they just put the phone out. Although those might be fake and exaggerated, it can also be true. I've been in loud environments where I just pull the phone out, like, I can't really hear you, and just get handed over, and I was winning. In school, I was going crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you look, as long as you're a good person, you have good morals and values, that's really all that you need to stand on. And if you want to look better, there's always a way that you can always put forth some type of effort to look a certain way or better your appearance. That's the good.
Go to the gym, go get a style. Like, there's so many other ways than your physical like appearance to make yourself look better, like first impression wise. Like sometimes it's not all about the face. And then there's a lot of times where you'll see very beautiful women with like, I don't like to say this, but like mid men, right? But it's because the appearance is not everything. It's the way you dress, the way you carry yourself, your confidence, all that matters. At the end of the day, you could be the ugliest person in the world and have the baddest bitch. You just have to carry yourself a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, looks is not the only thing. Now, granted, you gotta draw a line. It is the first thing they see. So make sure you look clean, make sure you look nice, you know what I'm saying? Carry yourself a certain way. That's all that matters. And then allow them to get to know you. What's your personality like? Are your morals good? That's one thing I stand on. Your morals gotta be right. Like, don't be and be on your shit too. Like, what are you doing with your life? And same goes for me, for women. I think I need to be on my shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to carry myself a certain way. I want to be a high value woman that wants to be a high value man. I got to carry myself a certain way. So that's all I'm saying.
But if that's not your concern, don't worry about it. Live your life, follow your purpose, and you'll be happy regardless. That being said, man, like the video, sub up, comment up, binge the rest.
Well, that's the end of the video. Shout out to Astro Dior, another W video. Make sure y'all go subscribe to this channel, his reaction channel. Yeah, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. Deuces.